So I logged on to Facebook the other day to, check out some memes, because, memes are life. And within 5 minutes, I was just like berated with horrible comments. Things like, your mother never loved you, you're never going to amount to anything, the world would be a better place if you just never existed. And these things are pretty typical of the internet space, but it hurts so much more coming from your own grandma. Hey there guys, my name's Dolapo, but you already knew that because you're so darn perfect. Well, today I wanted to talk about gaming and toxicity and how I think it might actually be getting worse. And there are several different facets to go into this. I think a lot of it has to do with just being in the know. Right now as gamers, we have access to way more information about the games being developed, the consoles being developed, and so much more information, as a whole than we ever had before. If you go on Twitter right now, or Reddit, or whatever it is, you will find out some new information on a game you're thinking about purchasing, or new information about a game that you've been wondering about, whatever, right there. And that's something we really didn't have before. We didn't have these live updates about games. I mean, I'd still like to hear more about Tunic. Where's my info on Tunic? But yeah, it creates a sense of entitlement that I think, can be relatively bad. But I understand it's really hard to stay in the public eye. You need that attention so that it garners more interest for your game and thus translates to better sales. Okay, and that's awesome. That's, that's modern marketing. That's just how it is now. But the gaming community as a whole kind of suffers from it. Here's what I mean. The modern console generation is coming to an end. I mean, we're gonna see new Xboxes and we're gonna see new PlayStations, whatever. And because of this, certain conversations are starting to happen. Mark Cerny just had a conversation in an interview about the PlayStation 5. And of course, you would think, oh, this would be like great. That means that we're gonna get a new console, it's gonna be more powerful, blah, 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 blah. And that's all the conversation should be. We can't wait to see what kind of games are gonna happen on this console. I mean, it's 8K gaming. What's that gonna look like? But that isn't the focus. From my social media standpoint, the people that I follow, it's all about bashing Xbox and PC. That's all I've seen, is just, wow, look what we're gonna be able to have on a console, and you guys can't even get that affordably on a PC, and you guys on Xbox don't even have games, so bye Felicia, that kind of thing. It's just, it gets really, really bad, and the conversation never is where it should be. At all. And E3's coming up too. That's a whole nother thing, because now PlayStation isn't even going to be at E3, even though they probably should be to at least show us the PlayStation, but I guess they're going to say that for their own thing, which is fine, whatever. But now we have another space in which gaming companies are going to be able to rile up their fan bases to, increase interest in their future product, which is good. I think that's great. But we all know how this starts. Who won E3? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, here comes EA again. We're ready to hate on whatever they put out. And it's kind of justified, but that's neither here nor there. So we have to ask ourselves, are console wars good? Well, for consumerism, yes. I think now it's still just as good for consumerism. I think it still drives people to their consoles or whatever, but at the end of the day, I know it's really bad for the community. I don't think console wars have helped the community at all. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm innocent. I've made Xbox jokes just like everybody else, like all the cool kids. It's low-hanging fruit. Come on, it's right there. But I don't think that's helping anybody, and I think there comes a point where you have to look back at all of this and just realize how much negativity you're putting out there. It becomes less and less about criticizing a company for the practices that they're making, the idea that they're effectively telling people to buy this $500 console, and then not supporting that $500 console, even though you told them you were going to support that $500 console, and then you didn't. Now, fortunately, I didn't purchase that console, but there becomes a paradigm shift, and instead of criticizing the company, like I said before, you end up criticizing the people who bought that, because they were sold on a product that they were told would have, software to accompany it, and there would be reasons to have this console. And yes, there are going to be those people who try to justify their purchase in any way they can, but the fact of the matter is they were duped, and we should be angry at Microsoft and not the players who chose that platform. See, it wasn't their fault. No one knows at the beginning of a generation how anything's gonna go. We're sold on everything that they have to offer right there. Then they tell us, they make all these promises. Hell, I bought a Wii U relatively close to launch, so I know. It just seems really, really frustrating that Microsoft gets to just get away with this. So before I lose my mind, let's talk about social media. My social media experience comes in 3 main platforms. Yes, I do other ones, but these are the main 3. It's Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. Facebook to me is the tamest of all the social media platforms because it has these things called groups, and groups are actually, you know, they're fostered. They're something that Facebook really wants you to have because these are places in which you can congregate with like-minded people to just talk about stuff you really like. Let's say, for instance, that you think that Beautiful Joe is one of the greatest franchises that Capcom has ever put out. Well, guess what? There's a Facebook group for that, and you can just sit there and you can talk about how awesome Beautiful Joe is. But there's probably also a group that really hates Beautiful Joe. And if you want to be part of a group that hates Beautiful Joe, you can be part of that group. And guess what? You never have to interact with the other group whatsoever. It's more about finding like-minded individuals and bringing about positivity to the gaming community. And I think that's really awesome. I think that's great that Facebook has that. I'm part of several gaming groups, and if you guys have any gaming groups on Facebook that you want to invite me to, let me know. Let me know the names. I'll search them up. That's really awesome. I always love community and that kind of thing when it comes to gaming. Twitter in and of itself is problematic because of curation. And Twitter is not just about what you like. So you can go and follow someone and you say, hey, I really like the Nintendo commentary, whatever. That's awesome. But you don't know that that person that you liked and that you follow also really likes poaching endangered animals. So they're retweeting photos of endangered animals being poached, and now that's on your timeline because you followed that person. You see what I'm saying? And it's really weird and really gross how that kind of works out on Twitter, and it's genuinely how a lot of porn ends up on your Twitter timeline. Like, you sometimes never know who you're actually following. Maybe you just liked a tweet there or a series of memes they made and you're just like, I'm gonna follow them, but now you don't know that they're retweeting horrible things. But if you are going to do it, make sure you know who you're following. Follow developers, developing studios, CEOs. That's where I think Twitter really shines, just having that insight as to what they want to promote, the information that you know is going to be true. So I'd be careful following certain gaming journalism because Kotaku, I swear, Kotaku's doing everything in their power to make me love and hate them. Like, for every expose they do, you know, Jason Schreier or whatever, there's another bullshit thing where they get something completely wrong and then they have to backpedal on it and it makes them look like freaking amateurs. So I don't know. Reddit is a fucking cesspool. Just read the headline story, read all the information you need, don't go into the comments. For the love of everything, don't go into the comments, and I think you'll be fine. That's it. So that just leaves the games. The games themselves, I don't know. I hear a lot about toxic fan bases, but I think it's about toxic player bases, and you should know that fan bases and player bases are completely different. Yeah, Overwatch, COD, and League of Legends get it the most. Okay, and I understand that. I play 2 of those. I play COD and I play League of Legends. But, you know, there are other ones that get it. You know, CSGO and Halo get it sometimes about their player bases. But it's really interesting just how many videos come out of Overwatch. And it's really, really disheartening. There was just this video not too long ago about this this poor woman just getting berated about being black and about being a woman. And it's just like, why is that still a thing? And you might say that you're really, really tired of hearing it, but as Jon Stewart would say, imagine how terrible it is living that every day. So this kind of thing is just horrible, and it happens way more often than it needs to. Multiplayer should not be doing this to us. Some of my best stories from video games come from multiplayer, you know? And it's horrible to think that some of people's worst experiences come from multiplayer. That's horrible to me, because when I was growing up and I was playing video games, it was kind of odd just how, like, in MMOs, people were really, really nice to women when I was growing up. I don't know what happened. And maybe it was just me not seeing it, but I just remember people being, like, exceedingly nice to girl gamers. And now a lot of it's going away, and it's just animosity and it's hatred, and these terrible people are doing terrible things, and it seems like it's not really a focus of these companies. I'm not really sure why. And you can dog Nintendo all you want. You can flame them from here until forever about their inability to come to terms with, you know, how the times are when it comes to multiplayer and online functionality, but never in a Splatoon match have I been told to kill myself or, you know, been called names or threatened. Like, that doesn't happen. And you can't have these terrible things happen if the functionalities aren't available to the player. And I think that's a really, really funny catch-22 in that remember when the stage builder thing came out for Super Smash Bros., we saw what happened. It was just a lot of adult-themed stages, and that's what happens when Nintendo gives us flexibility. This is what happens. This is the internet. This is your internet, people. But it also always feels like I'm missing something. Like I said, some of my best moments come from multiplayer, and you really do feel like you're missing out if you have everything muted and you're not really talking to everybody, and you're not creating strategies and the like. It's tough. I think that we have to make an active effort to make things better. It doesn't matter what people are gonna think of you about it. It's about making a conscious effort to make your gaming community better. Whether you're a PlayStation person, an Xbox person, a Switch person, 3DS, whatever, PC even, we all have to make an active effort to make our gaming communities better. And I know that not every one of us experiences this on a daily basis. Like I said, just being in the know makes things so much more problematic. You find out about these horrible stories. You find out about things that people are getting away with and doing, and it makes you really, really uncomfortable. And I hate that feeling. I hate being mad at gamers for the horrible things that we do, but I know it's not all of us. And it's up to the rest of us who are making good decisions to call out those people. That's just, that's what I think. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are games getting more toxic? Is it really that bad? Am I just blowing things out of proportion? Let me know. I want to know what you guys think. And stay perfect.